Up to pit road.
4 cars blowing up on the front straightaway. Down into turn 1. Kevin Harvick.
My rocker panel's on fire.
Yeah, big flames coming out from underneath the hood of Harvick.
So he's got no motor issue. It's rubber buildup underneath the race car. Has caught on fire.
And he's trying to get out of that as quickly as he can.
And there's more than
Caution is out. And that car bursts into flame.
Car started burning, and as it burned, you know, the flames started coming through the dash, and I ran a couple laps, and then, you know, as the flame got bigger, and then it started burning stuff up, and I think right there you see all the brake fluid that was probably coming out of the brakes. It burned the brake line, but the fire was coming through the dash. So
That's scary.
What a disaster, man. No reason. We didn't touch the wall, we didn't touch the car, and here we are in the pits with a burned up car and can't finish the race during the playoffs because of crappy ass parts.
So to clarify, it was not an engine issue originally. It was a rocker panel fire.
Because I just stopped. The rocker was on fire for a couple laps. I just stopped because, you know, I couldn't see anymore because the flames were coming through the dash, and I couldn't make myself sit in there and burn up.
Glad you're okay. Kevin Harvick is okay in the garage area, but not very happy, and wants to have a chat with some NASCAR officials.
Back-to-back wins in August 2022 at Michigan and Richmond made it known that Kevin Harvick and the 4 team were rounding into form and would be a title contender come playoff time. Despite a slow start to the season with a new next-gen car, it seemed as though Rodney Childers and company were starting to figure things out. But as you just saw, their title quest ended before it even began. The Southern 500 gave us one of the more infamous interviews of recent memory, one in which Harvick echoed the sentiments many fans have of modern-day NASCAR. Coupled with an accident the following week at Kansas, the 4 team was officially eliminated in the round of 16. However, Kevin Harvick would give his fans one last chance to see him compete for a title. It didn't come as a huge shock when he announced 2023 would be his last season in the Cup Series. Unfortunately, due to factors outside of his control, his final season would be underwhelming to say the least. With only a handful of races left at the time of the recording of this video, and already being eliminated in this year's round of 16 thanks to a woeful performance at the cutoff race in Bristol, all Harvick can do now is go out and win one last race before calling it a day. The struggles of Stewart-Haas racing the past few seasons have been well established. We can sit here and speculate all we want as to why that might be, but the fact of the matter is, the advantage SHR and specifically the 4 car had has withered entirely. Regardless, Kevin Harvick can still get it done, and one race in particular this season proved that. It's the 4th race of the season, at Phoenix, and to say Harvick runs well there would be the understatement of the century. He holds the all-time Phoenix record for wins with 9, top 5s, top 10s, and laps led. It's quite literally his best track by far, and in the closing stages the 4 car has a huge lead. Any Harvick fan probably knows that this is his best chance to grab a win in his final season. He just needs for there not to be a caution with 10 laps remaining. And Harrison Burton just spun by himself on the front stretch. Now it's up to the final stop. If Harvick wins the race off pit road, he'll get it done. And he is going to restart 7th with 3 to go. It's not looking good, but wait, another accident means we'll get another attempt at this. But this time he lines up 8th with 2 laps to pass everyone. He can only get up to 5th before the race ends, and William Byron walks away with the victory, something he's made a habit of this season. Sadly, on this day, Harvick fell victim to the classic lap car spins by themselves and changes the entire outcome of the race I just dominated for 3 hours phenomenon.
And what a show Kevin Harvick put on, racing your way all the way to the front, led a lot of laps there, and then you had the late race caution. When you took 4 tires, did you think that was the right call at the time when you realized the others around you took 2?
It's what I would have done. I'd always rather be on offense, and, you know, I didn't get a couple cars when that first caution came out, and kind of lost our chance, and still thought I had a chance there at the end. I mean, those cars were quite a bit slower, but they get all jammed up, and that's the way it goes. I mean, just smoked them up until the caution. They did a great job with our Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford Mustang, and just didn't need that caution at the end.
10 straight years. This man has finished in the top 10 right here at Phoenix.
He's not the first and certainly won't be the last. The season continued on, and other than dodging the chaos to score a runner-up in the Spring Darlington race and 2 top 5s at Loudon and Pocono, it's been an extremely quiet season for the 4 team. Making the playoffs on points, it was going to be an uphill climb to win the title when there hasn't been much speed out of SHR at all. Even then, Harvick was above the cut line going into the cutoff race of the opening round at Bristol. However, a 28th place finish ensured his exit in the round of 16. Honestly, it's a shame that Harvick is getting let down by his equipment. With that exit from the playoffs, the only thing he can do now is score a win like Jeff Gordon in 2015 or like his boss Tony Stewart at Sonoma in 2016. As we know though, not every retiring legend gets to go out a winner. Jimmy Johnson went winless for 3 seasons before calling it quits. Although he's back part-time, I don't see him winning again. Dale Jr.'s last win was a rain-shortened Phoenix race that no one remembers, and his final 2 seasons consisted of the culmination of his concussion issues and a 21st place points finish in his final season in 2017. But, despite the lack of speed in the 4-car, Talladega is the great equalizer, and having won there several times before, Harvick could get it done. Ironically, this Talladega race was pretty clean, and Harvick was up there at the end. Taking the white flag, leading the bottom lane as they ran 2x2, Harvick's chances of winning looked pretty good if he didn't get turned in front of the field. Unfortunately, his pusher William Byron had 2 of his Hendrick teammates behind him, and those guys were always going to work together. Byron dragged the brake off 2 to try to get a run on Harvick, leaving the 4-car a sitting duck down the backstretch. Ryan Blaney got a huge shove from Riley Herbst, put a crossover move on Harvick, and picked up the Hendrick trio on the bottom as they headed for turn 3. Now leading the outside lane, Harvick put up a good fight with a big run coming to the checkers, but it wasn't enough, and Blaney held on. I'm sure watching your favorite driver struggle in his final season, only to see him lose in a photo finish, has to be agonizing. But it turned out to be a hidden blessing. As it turns out, the 4-car failed post-race inspection due to unfastened windshield bolts. I'm hardly an aerodynamic expert, but in an article from FordAuthority.com citing former crew chief Steve Letarte and Todd Gordon's analysis of the situation, I found this quick explainer. If something like an improperly fastened windshield were implemented, the unevenness could cause the air to lift over the top of the race car, therefore avoiding the drag across the deck lid created by the rear spoiler. In any case, technically finishing last in the race is bad enough, but imagine if Harvick won. That would have been a cruel twist of fate, even for the most unlucky drivers out there. I guess this is to say that I hope Harvick wins the race before the season ends. I've always been neutral on him, but if someone who's won a lot of races and been around forever is calling it a day, I want to see them get the chance to win with the knowledge that it'll be their last win. Knowing my luck, me making this video will be enough jinx to will the 4-car into victory lane before the season ends. After all, there's still another race at Phoenix coming up, and we know how well Kevin Harvick does at that racetrack.